In the first half of the 1990s, the supercar market was experiencing a golden age. Ferrari unveiled the F50, boasting its direct relationship to Formula One, and McLaren was preparing its record-breaking F1. Operating in the shadow of these giants, however, was Monteverdi, who decided to outdo everyone by using not a race car-inspired engine, but a real F1 engine. Thus was born the Monteverdi High 650 F1, a project intended to prove that even a small manufacturer could create the most extreme car of its era. The car was the culmination of Peter Monteverdi's dream of a machine that combined Formula One with an exclusive road-going supercar. Under the hood, or rather just behind the driver, rested a mid-mounted Ford Cosworth DFR engine, angled at a 90-degree angle. This was a true 3.5-liter unit from the F1 cars of the late 1980s and early 1990s, capable of revving to a staggering 13,000 RPM. In its original configuration, it produced 575 horsepower, but later increased to around 650 horsepower. Weighing just 155 kilograms, the engine was one of the lightest and most aggressive engines ever fitted to a road car. Its 765 horsepower per ton put the High 650 F1 among the absolute best in the world. Even decades later, few cars could come close. The engine was mated to a manual 6-speed gearbox, also derived from Formula One, requiring incredible precision and reflexes from the driver. Power was delivered to the rear wheels via components partially inherited from Monteverdi's single-seater. Acceleration figures announced by the manufacturer were downright incredible. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in around 3 seconds, and 0 to 200 kilometers per hour in under 8 seconds. Theoretical top speed was 335 kilometers per hour. Although the F1 engine, requiring almost race-level maintenance, made even short tests extremely expensive and risky. Klaus Frenzel, later a Daimler designer and co-creator of the Smart Styling, was responsible for the futuristic body design. The High 650 F1 featured a wedge-shaped, aggressive silhouette with a low cockpit and large air intakes to meet the cooling demands of the F1 engine. The body lines, made of lightweight composite materials, were reminiscent of Group C prototypes. The entire structure was built on a highly rigid tubular frame, allowing the car to weigh around 850 kilograms. Absolutely extreme for a car of that era. Aerodynamics played a key role. Monteverdi wanted to create a car that would maintain stability at speeds exceeding 300 kilometers per hour. So the High 650 F1 featured an extensive airflow ducting package, a massive diffuser, and a flat floor to generate ground effect. It was designed using tunnel testing, a rarity for a small manufacturer. The result was not only a high top speed, but also traction, allowing the High to achieve G-forces typical of track cars. The interior, though simple, blended supercar elements with racing features. The cockpit was tight, sparse, and functional. A roll cage, racing seats, and a minimalist dashboard contrasted with attempts to add a touch of luxury in the form of leather trim. In practice, however, it was more of an F1 car with a body than a fully fledged road car. Homologation attempts proved unrealistic, both due to noise and emissions concerns and the extreme nature of the power plant. Monteverdi nevertheless accepted orders for the High 650 F1, and several people even paid deposits. A limited production run of a dozen or so units was planned, and prototypes were presented at trade shows and in the press as a harbinger of the Swiss brand's return to the forefront of supercar production. However, reality brutally thwarted these ambitions. The costs of maintaining an F1 engine were enormous. The project required testing at factories many times larger, and homologation regulations made it practically impossible to license the car for road use in Europe. By 1995, according to various sources, between 3 and 5 examples had been built, some with full F1 power, others as mock-ups or test models. Although never road legal and practically exotic prototypes, the high 650 F1 became one of the most fascinating super projects of the 1990s. Today, the 2 surviving examples are the most valuable artifacts of the Monteverdi Museum in Basel, a testament not only to the engineering audacity but also to Peter Monteverdi's dream of returning to the top league of supercars. The death of Peter Monteverdi in 1998 definitively ended the history of the brand and its visionary designs. The high 650 F1 remains a symbol of ambitions that exceeded the capabilities of a small company, but also a testament to the lengths an individual creator could go to in pursuit of the ultimate ideal. The combination of a road car with the heart of Formula One remains a rarity to this day. And the Monteverdi High 650 F1, though it never reached its potential, has become a permanent fixture in the history of the wildest and most daring supercars of the 20th century.